For me, that looked like trying to figure it out, trying to be the best mom, but not in the best situations. Trying to mask certain situations and hide my children from the actual reality of what I was dealing with. I was molested at the age of 7. That took me through primary school, just trying to process what had happened while just being a student. And I was intimidated not to say anything. I actually became pregnant at one point while in high school. And oddly enough, persuading the boy that I was pregnant for to punch me in the stomach, and I aborted the baby at home, all while court summons to appear in court for the charges of child molestation. And he, the next day, hung himself. Did he kill himself because of me? Um, I later found out that there were other young girls that wanted the process but retracted their statements because of the fear of having to face him. I ended up trying to commit suicide while my son was 1. We both got taken to the hospital. I swallowed a whole bottle of Tylenol, and still that wasn't enough to kind of wake me up. I just felt at that time like I wore a sign on my head that says I'm vulnerable and anybody's free to come and do what they want and as they choose. And I honestly felt that in my field, like from young, is that I was always manipulated into doing something or coerced or whatever. And because I questioned my value, it was very easy, right? It took the 4th attempt of trying to kill myself where I finally not thought of it, if that makes like I came to realization that nobody's gonna get me out but me. Out of the situation, out of my mindset, out of anything. Like I had to do it for myself.
I was molested at 7. I lost my virginity to rape at 12, highly promiscuous in high school. My mom came to the jail and she asked me a single question. She said, "Why do you love everyone else more than you love yourself?" And that hit me like a Mike Tyson body blow. Your struggles today become the master class for someone tomorrow. It just seems like everything is a stepping stone to the point that gives you that awareness that you have a very special place in this world for a reason.
I remember having a discussion with my oldest son who's seen me at my worst. And he kind of got the brunt of a lot of. So that was one of the turning points for me, just knowing that anything that I'm going through will definitely have an effect on my children. You have to walk into this world with empathy and understanding that people are going through stuff that may never tell you, you know? I didn't want to be a hovering mom, but I was petrified. To say the least, I did not, in my wildest dreams, think that I would have girls and to be able to being pregnant with them. I had a lot of time to, and I was pregnant during COVID. Had a lot of time to think and reflect on just my childhood. And I'm like, how in the world am I going to do this?
I have a question. How did you forgive yourself?
Ooh, I think after, I guess, piggybacking on what you were saying about just, I went through this stuff because my mama went through this stuff, because my grandmother went through this stuff.
I'm not a person that advocates for forgiving other people before we forgive ourselves because
Mhm.
society expects us to make everybody
Yes.
else around us comfortable. Poor children. No matter how hard we try, our
Yeah.
poor children are getting sucked into what we classify as generational curses, and really what it is unresolved trauma.
Yeah. But again, not everybody's going to understand your process. And it's not for anybody to understand, it's for you.
when you can get to a level of acceptance in your journey, it's the most freeing thing. And yeah, I can still be angry at what
Hmm.
happened, but getting to a level of acceptance where I'm not fighting myself with my reality is key in being able to move forward. A lot of people don't recognize that in order for us to heal, we have to earn. And that is part of that radical acceptance, which allows us to take radical ownership of our lives. I want to remind you, you were not built to break, but you damn sure were not built to just survive. Disrupt the cycle, reclaim your life, and thrive on your own terms. And I'll see you next week. But here's the truth: you're not broken, you're just unfinished.